We've seen plenty of tablets that promise to replace your laptop. They're loaded with power, sure, but they also weigh a ton. So when Huawei showed up in 2026 with the MatePad Pro Max and took the exact opposite approach, going ridiculously thin and light, I was curious. At just 4.7 millimeters thick and 499 grams, this thing is practically anorexic compared to other 13-inch flagships that keep bulking up on specs. But does cutting so much weight mean cutting too much pro performance? After using it daily for a month, here's the unfiltered truth. The moment you pick it up, your brain does a double take. 499 grams. That's nearly 200 grams less than the same size iPad Pro, and even lighter than a hardcover art book. At 4.7 millimeters, you can literally pinch it between two fingers and wander around the house like it's a fancy notepad. Slip it into your bag, and you'll genuinely forget it's there. Huawei calls this the Cloud Falcon architecture, and it's earned TV Rhineland's ultra-thin bend-resistant certification. I gave it a good twist, and it stayed impressively rigid. My review unit is the Blue Flow back version, and yes, the 3.5mm headphone jack is gone, but the trade-off is a 6-speaker Huawei sound setup that actually delivers decent bass, clear vocals, and a genuinely enjoyable experience for movies or podcasts, easily beating most tablets in this class. Then you turn on the display. That 13.2-inch flexible OLED panel has no notch, no punch hole, no distractions, just pure screen. With a claimed 94% screen-to-body ratio, videos truly fill your view, and the 3K resolution, 3000 by 2000, plus 144Hz refresh rate makes scrolling and gaming butter smooth. There are two variants, the standard glossy OLED with punchy colors and 2,000,000:1 contrast, great for HDR, and the PaperMatte edition I tested, which uses nano-etched glass to cut glare and add a paper-like drag for the stylus. That version is slightly less punchy for pure media, but it's a lifesaver if you work near windows or take lots of handwritten notes. One caveat, the 1600 nit peak brightness only fires up for specific HDR scenes in small windows. Day-to-day, it's fine by a window or outdoors, but don't expect smartphone-like visibility under blazing sun. That's just the physics of big screens. Productivity is where things get interesting. Huawei touts this as a productivity beast, but honestly, the real wins for me weren't the PC-level WPS suite. It was the multi-window, stylus, and keyboard combo I actually used every day. You can run 3 apps side by side. I'd have a browser for research, Huawei Notes for jotting, and the gallery for reference images, all switching without lag. It's not mind-blowing, but it's rock solid. However, plug in an external monitor and the magic fades. It's simple mirroring, not true desktop expansion, so you can't drag Windows to a second screen like a laptop. That stings if you wanted a dual-monitor workflow. The M Pencil Pro, sold separately, pairs beautifully, especially with the PaperMatte screen where the etched glass gives real paper-like friction. The Go Paint app isn't a throwaway. Brush strokes have natural ink bleed, and the Smart Color Palette pulls suggestions from your drawing, making it way more than good enough for sketching, storyboarding, or visual notes. But the surprise hit was the AI handwriting beautification in Huawei Notes. My handwriting is barely legible, and toggling it on transforms my scrawl into neat, natural-looking script without turning it into robotic print. That alone made me take more notes. The Glide keyboard has short key travel but snappy feedback, fine for banging out a 2,000-word article in a pinch. The fatal flaw? No cantilever hinge. The tablet lies flat on the keyboard base, no floating angle like a Surface or iPad Pro. On a desk, it's fine. On your lap, bed, or couch, the fixed low angle gets awkward fast. So productivity isn't about replacing your workstation. It's about making you actually want to pull this out of your bag to sketch, write, and stay in the flow. Under the hood, the international model runs Huawei's Kirin T93 Pro chip with up to 16 GB RAM, and daily tasks like notes, video, and office apps are flawless. Push it with heavy video renders or Honkai. Star rail, though, and frame rates stutter a bit, with heat building around the upper middle section. Thermal management is surprisingly good. Thanks to dual-layer VC cooling, it gets warm but never hot, even during long video calls, with no throttling. Battery life is rated at 14.5 hours of local video playback. In my real-world mix, Wi-Fi, 50% brightness, 2 hours of video calls, 3 hours of docks, 1 hour of gaming. It lasted about 10 hours, enough for a full workday and commute. And that 40W reverse wired charging is a lifesaver when your phone is gasping for juice. Of course, no product is perfect. The keyboard's flat design is a genuine ergonomic pain for lap use, and the professional software ecosystem, while growing, still isn't a full desktop replacement. And at £999 and 99 pence in the UK, it's firmly in flagship territory. So who is this for? The MatePad Pro Max is a laser-focused, even specialized, flagship that puts extreme portability and an uninterrupted big screen above all else, making deliberate trade-offs in pro performance and form factor. It's perfect for heavy document readers and mobile workers who live out of a bag, for anyone ultra-sensitive to weight who wants something they can forget they're carrying, for media junkies who crave an immersive panel with great speakers, and for sketchers and note-takers who need a digital notebook that feels natural. The moment you hold it, every spec sheet anxiety melts away under that barely there weight. It doesn't try to replace your laptop. It wants to be the screen you actually want to take with you. Sometimes, subtraction takes more guts than addition, and Huawei just proved it.